Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your Realtor Hugo here with another live. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. This is your space, 15 to 20 minutes a day to learn a little bit more about real estate and how it impacts you and those around you. Welcome to the Daily Real Estate Live. I am Hugo Quintanilla, your licensed Realtor in Maryland, licensed with Long and Foster. Thank you so much for tuning into the Real Estate Live. And we are going to be on all major platforms: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, X, Twitch.com, Spotify, and YouTube Music. So feel free and follow us on all major platforms and share the live with anyone that would be interested, because today we are going to be talking about HOAs, and in particular, how HOAs maintain community standards. So, a lot of people have been adapting to the HOA model, and a HOA is a homeowners association. And what they do is basically is an elected body of individuals, either members of the community or elected members of the community, that work together to maintain a certain level of, I guess, appearance, perhaps even standard of living, um, maybe even rules and regulations when it comes to certain amenities of the community. But the long and the short, HOAs are put in place to help maintain property values and make sure that properties are not losing their value over time due to poor maintenance from some of the owners in the community. Because, well, as we all know, there's always that house on the block that no one does anything to it. It looks like it's falling apart, and it's a sore. So HOA can come in and say, hey, you have to upkeep your exterior curb appeal, otherwise we'll fine you. And this is legally binding, because when you buy into the community, you are agreeing to these bylaws in the HOA. That's why the property was as expensive as it was, because it had an assured net equity value already ascribed to it, because basically it already had that protection in the HOA. That's why the HOA is there, to help defend the value of the property, so it's not left to the people's devices. I've gone into some communities where there's no HOA. You'll find trash, you'll find animals, you'll find no amenities, like no playgrounds, no pools, no community center. You lose stuff in not having some of these services. So today we're going to be talking about what it is, why do they exist, and what you can do when you have an HOA that's giving you a problem. So what is an homeowners association, an HOA? An HOA is a group formed within a community to enforce rules and maintain common areas. Think of it as a neighborhood team that keeps everything looking nice and running smoothly. Why do HOAs exist? HOAs exist to protect property values and ensure that the community remains a pleasant place to live. They handle things like landscaping, common area maintenance, and enforce community rules. Now, that last little bit is what you have been seeing on TikTok. That is these disputes and fights that are happening over community rules and regulations, where it might seem on video that some of these practices might be discriminatory. I'm not saying that they are or they are not, but this is where you have this gray area, where is the enforcement of some of these individuals in the HOA overstepping federal and state laws of freedom and personal rights. Because at a certain point, someone telling you what to do is un-American. So that's where we're kind of at right now when it comes to some of these disputes. Common HOA responsibilities are maintaining shared spaces like parks and pools, organizing community events, setting up and enforcing rules on home appearance and modification, and approving all those changes. So sometimes you'll have an HOA where they're very picky about how you paint the outside of the home. It can only be color A, B, or C, painted by contractor A, B, and C on days 2, 3, and 4. And that's it. So there are all these rules and regulations that are all outlined in the handbook to your HOA. You have to sign off on it when you purchase a property that has one. So make sure you're taking the time to read it. You have up to 7 days to acknowledge the document after you've received it, but you need to accept it to be able to purchase the property. And that in itself is something a lot of people overlook. They don't read the fine print of the place they live. And sometimes it's very bad. They purchase a home that's, for example, no pets, and they have pets. So it's either one of the two. Either you lose the home or you lose the pets. Benefits of an HOA. Living in an HOA community often means well kept properties and amenities, which can boost your home's value and make the neighborhood more attractive to potential buyers. The HOA fees, though, are regular payments made by the homeowners to fund the maintenance and services provided by the HOA. These fees vary depending on the community and its amenities. So, if it has a pool, I'm sure it's going to be more expensive. If it has a playground and tot lot, it could be more expensive. If there are amenities that are included, for example, the electric and water, those are all things that could also add to the value of the property, but also the cost of how much it's going to take to pay for the HOA and the HOA fee. HOA fees can be on a monthly basis, they can be on a quarterly basis, they can be on a yearly basis. So make sure you know how often you need to pay the HOA and to who, because there have been a lot of situations recently where the HOA is nowhere near the properties. It's actually an outside entity that is being used to mitigate the responsibilities, but it's it's an entity. There's no real office. So make sure you know where your money is supposed to be going so that you don't incur further costs or even a lien on your house, because you can potentially lose your home if you don't pay your HOA fees. Rules and regulations. HOAs have rules about everything from lawn care to painting colors. These rules ensure that the neighborhood looks uniform and appealing. Make sure to review these before buying a home in an HOA community. And how to get involved. HOAs can join, any homeowner can join the HOA board or committee to have a say in how the community is managed. You can also participate by joining meetings and uniting different homeowners under a certain cause. So you really have to influence the neighborhood to make these decisions. And that can take time, energy, and money. That's why we have such horror stories when it comes to good everyday people that have work, have lives, have kids, don't have time to work on these HOAs, having to suffer at poor management or tyranny, so to speak, and dictatorship, so to speak, that's being displayed by some of these HOAs. It can get very, very scary. So we hope that you do your research before you purchase an HOA, because the downside of an HOA can be a lot. Disputes with HOAs. Disagreements can happen. If you have a dispute with your HOA, there are usually processes in place for resolving the issue, including meetings and, if necessary, legal action. But no one wants to hire lawyers for something like this. And it can get very pricey. So it's better to know what you need to know and be prepared for what you need to be prepared for than to have to fight your way tooth and nail to the other side. So again, there are ways to dispute with an HOA, but no one wants to get to that point. Impact on home sales. Homes in well managed HOA communities often sell faster and for higher prices due to perceived stability and amenities provided by the HOA. Everyone knows which HOAs are good and bad. Everyone also knows which HOAs are FHA approved. And you can look that up too. It's just, you have to look up the federal list, and there's a list of all the HOAs that are approved. They can get an FHA loan. But that's for a reason. You have to do your research. A well maintained HOA is successful, and it shows. The properties are nice, they're well maintained, the values hold. It's a really great property to sell and a delight to sell. But a poorly managed HOA You hear the rumors very quickly as soon as you touch down. But Gaithersburg, Rockville specifics. In Gaithersburg and Rockville, HOAs play a crucial role in maintaining neighborhood standards, especially in larger planned communities, to ensure these areas remain attractive and desirable places to live. So it's not uncommon that you'll see HOAs around this city. It's really become very popular. So do not be afraid of them. They can be pricey, but we hope that they have the amenities that could pay off in the long run. Now, again, do your research, look at reviews, try to find more information about what you can, because there usually is a paper trail. Apps like Nextdoor are a great way to find out about your neighborhood tea, so to speak, and it will give you an idea of what's happening in your vicinity. So it's all location based, so don't get freaked out when it pinpoints exactly what neighborhood you live in. But an app like Nextdoor can really keep you up to date on what is happening in some of these condos and homeowning associations. So you got to stay up to date on that. Otherwise, you never know. If you're just joining us, we are talking about the role of HOAs in maintaining neighborhood standards and what they are and how they impact you. What is an HOA? It's basically a homeowners association. Why do HOAs exist? They exist to maintain property values. Common HOA responsibilities are to maintain amenities and utilities for the community. Benefits of HOA is that they hold up the property values. Understanding HOA fees, you got to pay them, otherwise, you'll lose your house. Rules and regulations. Every HOA has its rules and regulations. You gotta accept them before you can purchase the property. How to get involved? Any homeowner can get involved, but it does take your own time, effort, and usually money to do so. Disputes with HOAs, excuse me, disputes can happen, but please refer to the bylaws before you go down the legal route, and be prepared to understand that you may have to go the legal route if you get into a serious dispute with an HOA about their bylaws. Impact on home sales. Well managed HOAs tend to sell their properties faster and for higher value than ones that don't, because people like the amenities and the stability. And in Gaithersburg and Rockville, there are tons of HOAs around. So make sure that you're doing your due diligence on research, because as you have heard, HOAs can also not just be a benefit, but can be a kind of a drag if you get into a bad situation, not knowing exactly what it is that you own when it comes to the property. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to the Real Estate Live tonight. I really do appreciate it. I will catch you all again tomorrow for another live and another mental health live. And we will see what's going on. So, take care. Have a great day. Have a great night. Thank you to everybody watching. And I will see you all tomorrow. Take care. Bye.